The air was thick with the synthetic scent of stale churros and cheap popcorn, but all Sarah could smell was pure, cold dread. He's making a scene. Why is your child disrupting my perfectly good vacation? A woman's voice shrieked, slicing through the usual background symphony of coaster screams and calliope music. Was this truly happening? Was this stranger actually standing here, brazenly accusing her 9-year-old son, Leo, of deliberately causing trouble? Leo, usually content, had begun to rock, his noise-canceling headphones doing little against the aggressive, high-pitched laughter spilling from the ride's audio loop. His meltdowns were rarely loud, mostly internal, a desperate struggle against the sensory overload that felt like a swarm of bees behind his eyes. "Ma'am, he has a disability," Sarah managed, trying to keep her own voice level, a constant, exhausting battle when Leo needed her calm most. "He's overwhelmed by the queue light. We'll be on the ride in a minute. Disability or not, he needs to learn to control himself." The woman, a severe blonde wearing an expensive, wrinkled linen top and oversized sunglasses perched offensively on her head, snapped back, her tone sharp and utterly devoid of empathy. "Or maybe you need to control him. This is an exclusive section. I pay enough money for a pleasant experience." Her use of the word exclusive in a public line for a children's dark ride made Sarah's jaw ache with suppressed rage. Seriously? Was this level of entitlement even legal? Leo, now sensing the rising friction between the two adults, began to whimper, the sound small and lost beneath the blonde woman's incessant huffing. Sarah sighed, a heavy, audible sound of exhaustion that came from years of fighting battles just like this one. Battles not with the world's obstacles, but with the world's willful ignorance. The line moved slightly, but the woman, who Sarah instantly and mentally nicknamed Penelope, refused to drop it. She leaned in, her perfume a suffocating cloud of jasmine and malice. "Listen, if you can't manage him, maybe you shouldn't bring him here," Penelope hissed, lowering her voice but injecting it with venom. "I'm going to call security. You people always use your special circumstances to get special treatment." Before Sarah could even formulate the incredulous response bubbling up her throat. "Special treatment? Are you kidding me?" Penelope did something Sarah would never have imagined in a crowded, family-friendly amusement park. She reached out. In a swift, startling motion, Penelope grabbed Leo's wrist, yanking him slightly toward her. "Come on, kid. Let's go find your dad, if he can actually handle you." The intent wasn't kindness. It was a brazen, entitled attempt to physically remove Leo from the queue and, horrifyingly, from Sarah's presence. Leo let out a short, choked cry, a sound like glass shattering, and his small hand slipped from Sarah's grasp. "What on earth are you doing?" The sheer audacity of the action stole Sarah's breath, replacing it with pure, terrifying adrenaline. "Let go of him, right now," Sarah roared, abandoning all pretense of polite composure. She lunged forward, shielding Leo, but Penelope held fast to his wrist, already trying to drag him sideways toward a break in the ropes. Before the situation devolved into a full-blown physical wrestling match, a strong, calm presence intervened. "Ma'am, release the child immediately," a voice commanded. It was Marcus, a park attendant whose uniform was sharp and whose demeanor was rock-steady. He positioned himself between Penelope and the rest of the line, his hand slightly raised in a universally recognized stop sign. Penelope didn't even glance at him. She was so consumed by her own self-righteous mission, whatever twisted logic was driving her to seize a child from his mother, that she saw Marcus not as authority, but as an annoying, temporary obstacle. "Don't you touch me. I know the park manager. I demand you escort this disruptive child out." "Not me." Marcus stepped closer, his expression shifting from calm authority to concerned firmness. "Ma'am, you are physically holding a minor who is clearly distressed. If you do not let go, I will be forced to restrain you and summon park police." That did it. The mention of restraint or police seemed to pop the inflated balloon of Penelope's self-importance. She finally released Leo, who scrambled instantly back into his mother's arms, hiding his face in her shirt, safe, and turned her fury onto the uniformed guard. Splat! The sound of her open hand connecting sharply with Marcus's cheek was sickeningly loud, silencing the entire queue. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. "There! Are you satisfied now, you little rent-a-cop?" Penelope spat, shaking her hand dramatically as if she were the injured party. Her sunglasses finally tumbled off her head, revealing eyes that were wide with a shocked mix of entitlement and dawning fear. Marcus stood perfectly still, a red welt already blooming on his skin. He didn't flinch, didn't retaliate. He simply reached for the radio clipped to his shoulder. Code 10-5, assault on a guard, mainline Alpha. Request immediate park police intervention. Officer down, requesting backup. The response was immediate. Within 90 seconds, 2 official park police officers, fully armed, wearing vests clearly marked Park Authority, were sprinting toward the scene. The crowd, which had been murmuring and recording, parted instantly for them. Penelope, realizing the grave error of having slapped a law enforcement agent, even a private one, in a state that takes assault seriously, began to backtrack, her cinematic arrogance crumbling into pathetic hysteria. "This is ridiculous. I was just trying to help the poor boy. This is a misunderstanding. I want to speak to your supervisor," she wailed. But the officers were already moving, calm and professional, their hands near their holsters. "Ma'am, you are under arrest for assault and battery on an employee and attempted unauthorized detainment of a minor," one officer stated flatly. The cold, metallic click of the handcuffs snapping around Penelope's wrists provided the most satisfying sound Sarah had ever heard, a sound of perfect, instant justice. Penelope's face, usually set in a sneer of superiority, was now a mask of utter horror, realizing her entitlement had just earned her a night in a holding cell and a permanent criminal record. As the officers escorted a tearful, protesting Penelope away, the remaining crowd burst into spontaneous applause. Leo, still clinging to Sarah, finally looked up, his big blue eyes calm now. He gave Marcus, the stoic guard, a small, shy high five. Sarah knelt, wrapping her son tight, smelling the fresh scent of his hair, a relief so profound it nearly brought her to her knees. "This isn't just a theme park. This is our life. You don't get to lay hands on my child and walk away unpunished. The ultimate joy isn't the ride you came for, but the unexpected, sweet taste of justice. Proof that while ignorance is everywhere, the people who stand up for the vulnerable can always, always win. Every parent fighting this fight knows. Sometimes the greatest victory is simply watching the bully get their deserved karma."